Welcome to Coffee and Coaching with Caryn. Grab your favorite mug, sit back, and enjoy. Now here's your host, Caryn Fitzgerald.
Welcome to Coffee and Coaching with Caryn. I am your host, Caryn Fitzgerald, and today is an episode of Coffee and Book Chat. My guest is author Stacey Gustafson, and we are talking about her book, Are You Kidding Me? My Life with an Extremely Loud Family, Bathroom Calamities, and Crazy Relatives. Hello, Stacey.
Hi, good morning.
This is so exciting. I love the cover of your book. We're going to jump right in here. The cover of your book is cracking me up.
Well, I wanted my book cover to portray the way I feel every day. I'm not mad or sad, but frustrated. It has a picture of a woman just holding the top of her head and looking down, and it gives the appearance she's kind of shaking and laughing. I feel so frustrated sometimes with stuff that other moms can relate to, like the laundry, waking up before 9 a.m., self-checkout lanes, Brussels sprouts, roundabouts, and the carpool.
I love it. It does. It gives me this image of oh my gosh, I need a spa day. That's
or coffee.
Lots of coffee. So let's talk a little bit about your book, and it's called Are You Kidding Me? And so let's peek inside here. This is a suburban motherhood, midlife madness, and all the points in between, I believe is what you how you refer to it. So let's start at the beginning. What prompted you to write a book?
Well, I've been a stay-at-home mom for about 20 years. I've gone through 3 minivans. I just sold my final and last one because I have a son in high school, and my daughter's a junior in college. So I'm starting the second chapter of my life, and I'm getting excited by the thought I have an opportunity to pursue my passion, and I've always loved to write. I've created a collection of short stories, and I thought this is time to get this book out here and share with other people.
I love that. We all have stories inside of us, but the discipline to sit down and write a book is not something we all have. So, okay, so you're a mom of 2, minivan mama. How did you create the space and time to write this book while being a full-time wife and mother?
That was a challenge. My husband also does excessive international travel, so carving out a niche was probably one of my biggest challenges. I didn't want to put a lot of pressure on myself, so I started kind of slowly, and I am a night owl, so I do most of my writing at about 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. when everybody's asleep and the house is quiet. My son, now that he's a senior in high school, he is not around much or in his room a lot. So I found that this was the perfect opportunity. My daughter's out of town for college. My son is busy with his senior year, and I've really been pursuing it actively this year.
Wow. So you said that you've always loved to write. So tell us a little bit about some of your first experiences and when you fell in love with writing.
When I think about the first time I realized I could write was probably around 6th grade, and I won a poetry contest. My teacher entered me, and it was published in a little 3-ring binder back in the day before there were self-publishing presses. And then I thought, you know what, I think people like my writing. Then I was also given encouragement by my high school teacher. My English teacher selected me to be editor-in-chief of the school newspaper, and that gave me a lot of opportunity to learn how to do deeper editing of my stories. You know, that's when I knew I can do this. People think my writing skills are nice.
You've definitely got some amazing writing skills. And the fact that I open this book and the first thing I see as I'm flipping through are titles such as Going Commando and tea party, he who kills weeds. This just makes me laugh. And and then here's another one. I'm going straight to hell. So what was your inspiration? Because this seems like a collection of individual stories and very funny ones at that. So what was your inspiration for writing in this format? Tell us a little bit about the Are You Kidding Me book format.
It seemed like the title, Are You Kidding Me, just was so suited towards the funny things that are happening. I constantly am saying that to the stuff my kids do. And my husband, are you kidding me? How can you?
Let's go with Spanx. Tell me this Spanx story.
I think I used my writing to relieve some of the frustrations and make people laugh. In particular, it started out with my mother laughing. And so I thought, and then I would read them to my husband, and even my kids were laughing. But when I tried to expand my audience, I decided to read at a book club meeting. And I asked my friends, do you mind if I read a story? I want to see what you think. And they just really, I had to stop reading it so many times because they were laughing so hard. And it was about Spanx. And for those of you out there, you women know Spanx are shapewear. They call it, it's like an old-fashioned girdle. And I went to my husband's holiday party and just could barely breathe, couldn't eat. After an hour of being trapped inside this pair of Spanx, I went to the restroom, pulled them off, threw them in my purse, and let it all hang out, go commando. There was no other opportunity. It was either that or leave the party immediately. So I thought maybe now I should just do some sit-ups. So my friends enjoyed the story, and I got a lot of jokes or laughter, and I was very happy.
I think every woman listening can relate to being trapped in Spanx, control top pantyhose, the girdle, whatever your brand of choice is. I think we all can relate to being trapped in it to the point where when you finally get them off, you've got those marks on your stomach from where the seams were, and you go, I just want to be like a man and wear boxer shorts. It would be so
good
much
grief.
easier.
The instructions for the Spanx are even ridiculous. It is use baby powder if you can't pull them up. And another one was there was an 800 number for help.
Okay, so we need help getting our undergarments to keep. There's something seriously intriguing about that. I'm not going to say wrong. I'm just going to say very intriguing. So you've got these two kids, and you've got an amazing husband, and I want to hear about Daddy Diva. Okay, we hear about your husband's weight in this story, so tell us a little bit about this Daddy Diva story, because it is one of my favorites in your book.
Well, there was a call out for short stories from a book series called Not Your Mother's Books, and it was on dieting. So I have not really struggled with my weight, fortunately, but my husband recently has. So this story basically is one that almost didn't happen. I wrote it, let him read it, and he said, absolutely not. I made some revisions so that he approved the story, because I don't really want to make my husband mad. So it was just a funny story about his struggle with dieting, and he decided to use an app. And then I got so mad, I would get mad at the app. Every time we went to eat, he had to plug in what he ate. We would run through the whole day's menu. And then by the time he entered it one time, Starbucks was closed.
The poor guy. Life is this is our lives. I mean, your book is all about the reality that we are all living. We're going to take a super short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more with Stacey about her book, Are You Kidding Me? So stay right there. We'll be back with more coffee and book chat after these brief messages.
Stay tuned. Coffee and Coaching with Caryn will be back after these messages. Need a little more happiness in your life? Here you go. The Happiness Recipe Podcast to the rescue. Listen each week as June Klein and Sandy Weaver Carmen share wit, wisdom, and wonderful food with their guests. Guaranteed to add happiness to your life. happinessrecipe.net.
Yo, 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 attention authors, share your work on Coffee and Book Chat. Book reviews, author interviews, blog posts all about you and your book. Visit coffeeandcoachingradio.com for details today.
Are you looking for quality entertainment and activities for the entire family? Then come on down to the Plaza Theater Company and Plaza Academy Dance Studio, located in Cleburne, Texas. The Plaza Theater Company is an award-winning community theater that presents 10 productions a year, performing every single weekend. If you have a child that enjoys acting, dancing, or singing, then you can enroll them in the Plaza Academy Dance Studio. For more information, visit plaza-theater.com or call 817-202-0600.
Welcome to Coffee and Coaching with Caryn. Grab your favorite mug, sit back, and enjoy. Now here's your host, Caryn Fitzgerald.
And we are back. This is Coffee and Coaching with Caryn, and today is a book chat episode. We are talking with author Stacey Gustafson, and this is her book. It's called Are You Kidding Me? My Life with an Extremely Loud Family, Bathroom Calamities, and Crazy Relatives. And we are all relating to this, Stacey. This is just, you're making me giggle. Every time I open your book to one of the different stories, I laugh. And the one that really made me laugh to the point where I had to do a double take was the sentence is, a strange woman fondled my breasts, trapped me in an awkward position, and called me cruel names. Okay, the title of the chapter is Keep Your Hands to Yourself. Tell us a little bit, because, I know once you start talking about this, the women out there are going to go, oh, I know that story. So tell us why you were being fondled and trapped in strange positions.
Well, I enjoy piquing the interest of the readers with a fun, enticing first sentence. This story is all about a breast exam and the horrible technician. You go to your annual breast exam and you are not looking forward to it. You know it's going to hurt a little bit. So I walk into the room. I said to the lady, "Welcome to the torture chamber." And she immediately said, "Oh, you're going to be one of those and complain the whole time. Would you rather get cancer?" And I thought, whoa, that's quite a leap, lady. I mean, they must hear it all day long. This hurts, that hurts. But you're expecting a little bit of sensitivity. So my story is about being squashed in the jaws of life with my breast exam, and her asking me to shift my weight to the right, to the left, twist to the side, and good grief, the breast exam is just a torturous piece of equipment, and the lady was none too friendly. So I had a little fight with her and was happy to get the heck out of there.
I think, again, I'll say it again, I think every woman listening to this and hearing bits and pieces from your book, they're sitting here saying, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one that lives a crazy life. And Stacey's just the one that decided to write about it. So let's talk about this book a little bit more in terms of the book I'm holding in my hand almost didn't happen in the way it happened now. And the reason it's happened, and that Are You Kidding Me, the book that I'm holding in my hands right now in this format, happened because you were extremely persistent. You had a little oops in your writing career, learned a lesson, and then your persistence was able to overcome. So share a little bit about the challenge you had in getting this book written in the way it is.
About 3 years ago, I asked the local online newspaper, I offered to provide a humor column weekly. I wrote stories. And before I got started, I had to sign a 14-page document electronically. Well, shame on me. I didn't take the time to really read it, but I was only getting paid $25 a week, and I probably would have needed a lawyer to understand all the jargon. At that point, unbeknownst to me, I signed away my rights to own all my stories. At a certain point, about a year into it, I realized they had about 50 really good stories, enough material to write a book. When I approached my editor and we had laid out the whole book, she asked me, "Do you have the rights to these stories?" And at that time I had to say, "I don't think so." I provided her with the contract, and we were all getting very nervous. So I started trying to track down who was the appropriate person to contact, and a large conglomerate owned the online newspaper, and they were not willing to give up the rights at that time. So I decided to get on a campaign, and every week I emailed and asked somebody, "Please help me get the rights to my story." That went on for 90 days.
And so after 90 days and your persistence, you got all the rights back to all of your work, and you were able to publish and go forward with the publication of Are You Kidding Me?
That's right. I mean, even at one point I decided the deadline is coming up to publish my book in August. I'm still sitting here in July with no republishing rights. If I didn't have that, about 30% of my book would have been blank pages. So I started sending the right people jokes. That's all I had to offer, funny jokes.
Okay, wait, expand on that, because you just said you started sending the right people jokes?
One-line jokes. That's all I had. I thought, what do I have to offer? I can't send them money. I really don't know who these faceless people are on the other end of the email. So to get their attention, I sent them the funniest jokes I could find. Then finally, I sent the best joke I've ever heard of, and they said, fine, we'll grant you the rights to your story. Let us just put together some legal language and know for sure a sufficiently funny joke will grant you your republishing rights.
What was the end-all, be-all, ultimate joke that really got them to say, you know what, take your rights and go away because we're doing too much laughing over here?
That's for sure.
Is it one you can share with us?
I can. I think they were happy to have me off their back. I have not heard back from them since, but once they said, we grant you the rights, I just took that email and ran with it. But my one funny joke, the final one that broke the camel's back, was a married man is having an affair with his secretary. Their passion overcame them, and he went to her house and they made love all afternoon. Exhausted, they fell asleep, waking up about 8 p.m. The man threw on his clothes and told the woman to take his shoes outside and rub them through the grass and dirt. Then he slipped them on and drove home. "Where have you been?" demanded his wife when he entered the house. "Darling, I can't lie. I'm having an affair with my secretary, and we had sex all afternoon. I fell asleep and didn't wake up until 8 o'clock. The wife glanced down at his shoes and said, "You lying bastard, you've been playing golf." That was the story. That did it.
I can see why, because that is funny. Stacey, you have this incredible lightness about you, and it comes through in your book. Like I said, the picture on the cover of your book, all of these fun stories. We're going to take a super, super quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out how to get our hands on your book. Well, I've got a copy of your book, but we're going to let the audience know how to get a copy of your book, and we're going to learn a little bit more about how they can contact you. So stay right there. We'll be right back after these brief messages with more Coffee and Book Chat.
Stay tuned. Coffee and Coaching with Caryn will be back after these messages.
Hey, Lily, do you have lines, wrinkles, or low energy?
Yeah, I do.
Well, change it all now. Look and feel younger from the comfort of your own home today.
How?
Visit 10yearsyoungernow.com for your free personal consultation.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Looking to monetize your passions? Ready to get paid for doing what you love? Contact Caryn at coffeeandcoachingradio@gmail.com and get creative strategies for developing income while doing what you love.
Dreaming of turning your book into an audiobook? Make it happen. More and more people are discovering the joy of audiobooks. They should be discovering you. Our professional personal service gives you just the audio product you've dreamed of. Check us out, voiceworkondemand.com.
Welcome to Coffee and Coaching with Caryn. grab your favorite mug, sit back, and enjoy. Now here's your host, Caryn Fitzgerald.
We are back with Coffee and Coaching with Caryn, and today is a book chat episode. We are talking with author Stacey Gustafson about her book, Are You Kidding Me? Life with an Extremely Loud Family, Bathroom Calamities, and Crazy Relatives. Okay, so Stacey, when we left, right before the break, we heard the joke that got you your rights back, and it sounds like your persistence really did pay off in terms of you almost lost a large chunk of your book to another organization, basically lost all the publishing rights or almost lost the publishing rights because of an oversight in terms of not reading a contract that, stuff that we all do. I mean, we just scan through, click yes, and move on. So huge, huge lesson for you, and it turned out in your favor. Would you say that that's a life lesson that you share with others who are writing and writing their own works?
Definitely. You really have to read these contracts and be careful who you send your stories to. I submit a lot of short stories to online publications and magazines and books. In almost 100% of the time, you have to own your own rights. So shame on me. I didn't read it. I just sloughed over it. It was so complicated. And if you get a contract like that that's so complicated, pass. There's other places out there for you to enter your stories. You should always, in the end of the day, own all your rights.
Wonderful. That's an extremely important piece of advice to share with others. Now, I understand, let's talk a little seriousness for a moment. I understand that you're donating a portion of proceeds from your book or your proceeds to charity. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what organization and why?
My husband and I believe in paying it forward, and I've decided to donate all my proceeds to the MS Society and Food for the Poor. For 20 years, I myself have been struggling with MS, and it's an organization very near and dear to my heart. And the other organization, Food for the Poor, is my childhood pastor, travels overseas to Haiti and third world countries building houses, and we've decided to support him.
Wonderful. And for those who may not be familiar with MS, MS is multiple sclerosis. And we will also include a link so people can learn more about the MS Society and what they are doing and how they can get involved as well. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that. So what's coming up next?
I'm constantly writing stories, and I'm saving them for Are You Kidding Me? Part 2. Also in the works is a humorous murder mystery. I know my family thinks, how can murder be funny? I admire, one of my favorite authors is Janet Evanovich, her lighthearted style. So my book kind of thinks Stephanie Plum meets Fraser Crane. It's about a radio show host who discovers who murdered a popular resident, and the main character proves that she should never be underestimated.
Oh, very fun. I love Fraser Crane, so you're really talking my language here. So is this your first fiction? Is that going to be your first fiction run, or did we miss something that we need to chat about?
I've written very few short stories, but this would definitely be my first attempt at fiction. I want to keep it funny, add a lot of humor, lighthearted.
Beautiful. I love that, and hopefully when that one's out, you'll come back and talk with us about that one.
Definitely.
Stacey, what's the best way for people to connect with you? And then we'll talk about how they can get the book. So how do they get in touch with you to invite you to share or speak or connect in general?
You can contact me through my blog. It's staceygustafson.com. That's STACEYGUSTAFSON.com. I'm also on Twitter, Are You Kidding Stacey? But the best way would be through my blog. There's an opportunity to leave a comment and contact me.
Love it. And most importantly, how can people buy your book?
Well, I am fortunate to have my book sold on Amazon in ebooks. You can go on Amazon, search Are You Kidding Me? My Life with an Extremely Loud Family, Bathroom Calamities, and Crazy Relatives, and make a purchase. I'd be thrilled.
Wonderful. And in doing that, people are also helping you to support the MS Society and Food for the Poor. So that's wonderful. Everybody can help pay it forward. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have been talking with Stacey Gustafson, and her book is Are You Kidding Me? My Life with an Extremely Loud Family, Bathroom Calamities, and Crazy Relatives. I encourage you to pick up a copy. It is available on Amazon. And we will be back next time with more Coffee and Coaching with Caryn. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you liked what you heard, please share the show with a friend.
You've been listening to Coffee and Coaching with Caryn.
Thank you so much for joining us. Tune in next time for more Coffee and Coaching with Caryn.
Until then, visit us at coffeeandcoachingradio.com.
Caryn Fitzgerald is an author, speaker, business strategist, and leadership coach. Connect with her at coffeeandcoachingradio.com.